Black Friday is right around the corner, so now is your time to get ready, get prepared, and do these 5 things to make sure you have your best Black Friday yet. Hello and welcome to Full Body Yes Sales, the podcast where we show you how to make more sales than ever in your online business in a way that feels authentic, empowering, and feels completely aligned with how you want to do business. Let's dive into today's episode. Hello and welcome back to the Full Body Yes Sales podcast. So it is November when this is being uploaded. It is Black Friday month, so there's no better topic for us to jump into this month and start talking about than Black Friday and helping you get prepared for this, because this is probably the best and biggest opportunity for sales for you out of the whole year. Everyone is selling something. You should be selling something as well. If you're even thinking about it, watch this video and it'll give you some ideas. But I wanted to walk you through what are some things that I think go into, what are some ingredients essentially of a really successful Black Friday? What's going to make a really successful sale for you and actually get you some really good potential clients coming in, really good sales, and lead to it being a really successful weekend for you as a whole in a really simple way. So I've boiled it down out of my experience of doing years of Black Friday. I'm making almost 20K from upsells included in my very first Black Friday as well. I'm going to walk you through what are the 5 things that I would say are the most important things for you to be considering, be thinking about, and be planning out right now to have your best Black Friday yet by far. Now, make sure you watch this whole video firstly, because especially tip number 5, which I'm going to be sharing with you, is the absolute gold one in my opinion, the one which made me have such a big Black Friday on my very first run. And it's going to make you as well have really, really successful sales on Black Friday. And I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. We're going to save that for number 5, but make sure you watch this whole video to see that. And make sure you subscribe as well if you're not subscribed, because all through November, I'm going to be doing Black Friday videos for you. So this is going to be essentially a mini series which you're getting to walk you through planning your Black Friday and to help you have a really, really successful Black Friday this year. So without further ado, let's get in. So the first thing I want to talk about is actually planning out and really intentionally what you are actually going to be selling. So you want to be really intentional with what you're choosing to sell for Black Friday. It's not just a pick anything and slap 50% off on it. I think this is such a great opportunity, not just for bringing in some cash on Black Friday, obviously, and bringing in some sales here, but also to set you up for the rest of the year in your business. So I would be really considerate of, okay, where are people at in my audience right now? What is going to be the best option for me to sell to them? Now, often this will be something you already have. It might be something people are already familiar with and you doing a huge discount on that. If it's a passive offer, calls, group program, something like that. It could also be adding an incentive to something which you currently offer, but essentially you want something which is going to be a easy decision for someone. You don't want it to be something people have to really sit and consider. You want it to be either they're already thinking about it and we know people in the audience are already wanting to jump into this and this is going to be the get off the fence moment and get them actually jumping into this, or it's something people are at least familiar with, or it's an easy concept for them to understand. So for example, with me, the first time I did Black Friday, I launched something brand new, which doesn't make a lot of sense typically, but I think it did really well because I had such clear messaging around it and it was really simple for me to explain this. It was the Full Body Yes Sales bundle. I was talking about, create your own strategies. There are this many possible combinations with it. It was a really simple concept of what I was selling there, so it didn't take a lot of explaining. Again, with Black Friday, there's a lot of noise, a lot of people selling a lot of different things, so you want to cut through the noise and make it something which is easy to explain, essentially. It's easy for you to talk about, and it's an easy yes for your audience. It makes a lot of sense. We're not trying to, during Black Friday, launch something new that feels really different, that feels really out of the box. Go with something that makes sense to your audience and which is an easy yes for them. And I would also add as well on this note that Black Friday isn't necessarily about the sales, which sounds really weird, but sometimes it can be about the lead gen. For me, for example, with my first Black Friday sale, it was very much about lead gen for me. I wasn't concerned with how much money I was making on that exact weekend. I was concerned with this bringing in leads for my one-to-one coaching program, who were going to be really, really perfect fits for one-to-one, who then several of them actually ended up signing up for one-to-one in the next few months and upselling into there, which we'll dive more into that in other tips in this video as well. But it's really helpful to actually think, okay, what are my goals right now essentially? Because yes, getting someone into a $50 or $200 course or bundle can be really great, but also what are our goals with that? What is our intention? What is our bigger goal than our business? Are you wanting to sell your signature offer more and wanting to get some leads for that perhaps? So maybe then thinking about this is almost, how do I make this offer that I'm doing for Black Friday a no-brainer for someone to jump in and for this to be their step one, try before you buy, essentially before my signature offer? That can be a really, really strategic way of using Black Friday. So essentially just be intentional with your offer. Don't just think I need to just pick a course that I have and just slap 50% off on it. Actually think about what is the purpose behind what I'm offering? What do I want to be that next step for people? And where are people at in my audience right now? What feels like a really natural fit that would be easy for people to jump into as well? The second thing I want you to do to have your biggest and best Black Friday yet is actually plan out ahead of time your key messaging statements, essentially. Now, often we know how we would talk about our offers, but even more so with Black Friday, we want to have some really key statements around our messaging for our offer that just make it make sense for people, makes it a really easy yes. And this is so helpful because, as I said, there's a lot of noise going around on Black Friday. A lot of people are talking about a lot of different things and trying to convince the person who is also your ideal client why they should buy their thing specifically. So you're competing with a lot of things. People are seeing a lot of things, especially on social media. There's so many more adverts, etc. So actually having some really key statements of, okay, what is it I offer? Why this offer? What does this offer do? And just some really easy ways that you can describe this offer essentially are so powerful for actually getting you in front of the right people, getting them paying attention, and getting them to the point of actually making the decision of a yes without hearing it 1,000 times. For example, with me, with the very first Black Friday sale that I did, as I mentioned, it was a brand new offer at the time for Body Yes Sales, my course. And at the time I had some really, really key messaging here. And I went back and looked through exactly what I said. And I repeated this over and over. For example, I repeated the fact of it's a choose your own adventure style course, which you don't get a lot of the time. So if you remember when you were a kid, those books where it would say, okay, if you want to pick this option, go to page this. If you want to pick this option, go to page this. I essentially did that, but in course style, in the original version of this. And essentially you would pick your own strategy and then pick your own next step. So it would create your own strategy completely unique to you, just based off the choose your own adventure style. So I repeated over and over again the choose your own adventure style. I repeated that there were 9,600 possible combinations. Yes, it's a course, but you're still getting a really, really personalized strategy as a result of this because there are so many possible options. What you get and what someone else gets from this course are going to be completely different based on your business, your ideal client, where you're at, etc. So that was so, so powerful, just repeating that consistent messaging. And I was repeating again about sales really feeling like a full body yes, and that idea of actually this is not just for someone who's, I want to make more sales, but someone who's really in that place of, I want sales to feel like a full body yes. I want it to feel easier. I want it to feel simpler. I want it to just feel better and just more natural, essentially. Hence why it's so personalized as well. So those things, I can just explain those few statements to you and just share those few little lines there. And it makes complete sense why you would jump into this course specifically versus another one. So it's so powerful there. Having some really key messaging of just, okay, what makes this stand out? Why this offer? What is unique about this? Essentially just to explain the offer without needing a whole paragraph. We can do it then just in a few phrases, and really repeating those over and over on Black Friday is so, so powerful for getting people to pay attention and getting them to actually make the decision that yes, they're going to buy this offer specifically. The third thing to do to make this your biggest Black Friday ever in your business is actually use the time ahead of Black Friday to your advantage to actually get leads before you're going into Black Friday. So I know a lot of people will go into Black Friday and almost feel like we're kind of starting from zero because we're very much in that place of, okay, hopefully someone will buy, hopefully people will be interested in this. Then we just put out the offer and we kind of just hope for the best and cross our fingers and cross our toes. But actually it's so much more strategic if we can go into Black Friday knowing we have people interested already, knowing that people know about this, knowing there's people waiting to buy as well is so, so powerful. Imagine if on day one of you opening the cart on Black Friday, you already know several people are wanting to jump in. You know you're already going to make sales from this. It's not a will I? It's not, I'm unsure about this. I feel kind of nervous. You already know there's sales coming in. It's such a powerful position to be in. And you can really utilize those weeks ahead of Black Friday to make sure you are in this position when it does get to Black Friday, right? Because, for example, you can start teasing your offer, so you can share little bits about it. A great one, which is probably actually my favorite, is the guess the offer or guess the title based on the emojis. So just drop some emojis which kind of describe the offer and see if people can guess it. It's a super fun game to do with people. Anything which is essentially just getting people excited. So hinting about what it's to do with, hinting about the percentage off, hinting about what you're going to be putting on offer, any of those things. It's so exciting for people and just gets them paying attention, gets them interested, and gets them looking at you and looking at your offer and looking at what's going to be coming. Can be so powerful. So utilize those weeks beforehand to really tease the heck out of this and get people really excited. And again, the more you can speak about it beforehand as well, it means people are going to be automatically paying attention when it gets to Black Friday, when it gets louder, when it gets noisier, when it gets busier, and everyone is competing for their attention. They're already paying attention to you specifically because they know that you have a certain thing coming and they're really excited for it because it sounds like it could be a good fit from what you've hinted at so far. So actually making sure that people are aware that something even is coming from you instead of just suddenly dropping something, and also aware to an extent of, what is going to be coming. What could this be? Could this be a fit for me? Is this something I want to keep an eye out for? This can also be timed so nicely with anything lead generation. So for example, if you had an early access list, if you utilized your close friends story to start teaching on that topic, if you as well did some kind of freebie related to the offer that you're going to be doing and drop that a few weeks before, essentially anything where you can just start to get some leads and then let those people specifically know, hey, you guys can either have early access to the offer or I'm going to share with you in advance what the offer actually is so you can find out early. Any of those things which just help you to know that, okay, people are interested. You can validate your offer essentially before you're even putting it out there, and you know that there are going to be sales happening from the people that you have spoken with already about this. Now, on my very first Black Friday, I did a beautiful job of this, I would say, looking back, and I had a close friends list for a few weeks beforehand. So basically at the start of November, I said to people, okay, I'm going to be doing exclusive sales trainings over the next few weeks. They're going to be on my close friends story only. So tap this thing if you want to join my close friends story specifically. And for everyone who did tap there to join my close friends story, I then was just essentially every few days, only on my close friends story on Instagram, just dropping a little sales nugget, just dropping a few, training videos essentially. Not any long videos like this, anything like that, but just me speaking on Instagram stories, just talking through a concept. And as well, it was great because I utilized that group to do some polls, asking them, what are you struggling with sales at the moment? What do you want me to talk about here? So it was great for me finding out, what were people looking for at the moment? What were they interested in? What were they struggling with most in making sales feel like a full body yes, which is the transformation of the course, what it helps you with. So it really helped me in terms of how to market it on Black Friday. And also I found out a lot from those people, and there were several people in there that actually were perfect fits for the course. And I could very much then share with them, okay, this offer is going to be dropping next week. I think this will be perfect. I know, we've had a chat in the DMs about you struggling with this specific thing. And I think this course would be really perfect for you. So just wanted to give you a heads up that this is coming. And several of those people in that group were the very first sales that I got on Black Friday specifically. And I think that's so powerful because those people, I knew they were going to be buying because I'd been nurturing them essentially for 3 weeks, specifically in this private group. And again, the benefit of having a private group meant that I knew who those people were. I had them raise their hands essentially to get into that. They had to let me know that they were a lead, that they were potentially interested. So I knew who to focus my engagement, who to focus my attention on essentially leading up to that sale as well. Now, the fourth thing to do to have your biggest and best Black Friday ever this year is I want you to promote your offer hard until the very last second. Now, I know everyone says about this. I know you're probably thinking, yeah, of course I will. But it is so easy. And I see this so often for people to just kind of drop the ball a little bit a few days before and think, okay, well, only a few people have bought. So, it just didn't go that well this Black Friday, and already making assumptions about firstly, making conclusions and assumptions about how Black Friday went for them as if it has finished already when it hasn't actually finished yet, and you still have a few days where your cart is open for. And also people just kind of dropping the ball in terms of speaking about this, meaning that a lot of those people who were on the fence never do get off the fence, right? They never do actually make a decision of whether, yes, I'm buying this or no, I'm not. They stay in the, could be interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. They stay in that place, and then we close cart, we finish, and then those people very likely would have bought if we had just spoken about it more. So it's so powerful actually to bring that full marketing energy into the entirety of that cart open. So actually speaking about it right until that last day. And a really powerful example here is, again, in my very first Black Friday sale, literally several years ago now, I doubled my sales in the last 48 hours of the cart open. So the cart was open, I believe it was from the Wednesday before Black Friday until the Tuesday. So it was open almost a week. And in the last 48 hours, I doubled the sales. People were jumping in like crazy. I was getting a notification kind of every few hours on my phone about someone new jumping in as well. Someone, which I think is a perfect reminder of this and just reason why I'm adding this in as one of the tips here, is that there was one person specifically who actually messaged me and said, oh my gosh, thank you so much for actually talking about it on your stories today, because I'd completely forgotten. I had a reminder on my phone. She'd set a reminder last week to purchase your course and I'd just completely forgotten about it. I just got busy. So thank you so much for posting about today, because it just reminded me, and she purchased straight away. So again, if I hadn't have done that, this person would have just forgotten, wouldn't have gotten around to it. Because again, people are busy regardless, but they're also even busier when it's Black Friday. People are constantly in their inbox. They're constantly posting about things, talking about things. So actually cutting through that noise, sometimes it's just quantity and just making sure you're speaking about it, and not just every single day, but several times a day. And also actually making sure you're speaking about it right until the end as well, because there are people who are on the fence, who haven't bought yet, who are considering it, who won't actually make that decision to purchase unless they see you talk about it one more time, two more times, three more times, whatever it is for them. So really just going hard almost in those final 48 hours is so powerful for getting people to actually jump in. Again, the big thing with Black Friday, obviously, typically is there's a big discount on something. So again, with a sale like that, you want to really make sure that people are knowing that this price is going up. The price is doubling in 48 hours, actually making sure that people are fully aware of that countdown. They're fully aware that the price is going to be going up. They're going to be missing out on this sale essentially if they're not jumping in now. So anyone off the fence, we really give them an opportunity to just get off the fence, whether that is a yes, I'm buying, no, I'm not buying. And that's the really powerful thing, I think, just even around Black Friday, to be honest, about just talking about your offer a lot and just having that quantity in terms of how you're marketing. Because all we know for a fact is it's going to get people off the fence. If they see us talking about something enough, they decide either, yes, it's for me, no, it's not for me. And the worst thing in sales, if someone is left just on the fence. If we get to the end of Black Friday and there's someone who's still on the fence, they're still undecided. We don't want someone to be undecided. We want someone to either be a yes or be a no. It's totally fine if they're a no, they weren't a good fit, they weren't going to jump in, etc. But we would have never known if they would have been a yes if they're still sitting on the fence and they're still undecided. So actually the more you can speak about this, especially in that last day, that last couple of days, is so powerful because it helps people make a decision. It helps them actually get off the fence and actually decide if this is for them or not and answer that question, and then actually potentially get you that final sale as well. And I want to add the reminder as well that for a lot of you, probably this very well may be true for you, it is so true for me, we're the last minute buyers. A lot of people typically will either buy as soon as the offer drops, they'll be waiting for it and they'll be sitting, waiting for the doors to open. As soon as it opens, they say, yep, I'm in, perfect, jump in. Or a lot of people will jump in at the end as well. There's typically that lull in the middle. So if you notice that with your Black Friday, totally normal. I noticed it as well. A lot of people jumped in at the start, a lot of people jumped in at the end. There's a bit of a lull in the middle, people jumping in each day, but a little bit of a lull there. And at the end, those people jumping in, they're the last minute buyers, and typically they're the ones who had been on the fence, had been undecided. Then they see, okay, it's your final day, you need to make a decision now. And then they think, okay, I do need to make a decision. So then they actually think about it and they decide, okay, yeah, actually, you know what, this does sound like it's a really good fit for me, so let's go for it. I know from example with me, I'm such a last minute buyer. I remember there was one time where I purchased something before the sale was ending, and I think it ended US time at midnight Eastern time, which is 5 a.m. in the UK. And I kid you not, I literally purchased it at like 3 a.m. or something in the UK because I was just staying up, just undecided, thinking, oh, do I want to? And then I was like, yes, okay, this is a good fit for me, so I'm going to jump into this thing. But there's people in your audience who are exactly the same, and you may very well be one of those people as well. So noticing that own pattern for yourself and realizing that that's how I buy, so why am I expecting that no one else buys this way? Actually making sure that you are there for those people and really speaking to your offer in that final 48 hours is so powerful. And my fifth and final and probably best tip for Black Friday for you is that the real gold is in the upsells. Black Friday itself is absolutely amazing for sales, sure, and you can have a really big sales day, sales weekend from this, but this should not be your main focus. For example, again with me, with that very first Black Friday launch, which I've been talking about through this video of when I launched Full Body Yes Sales, I can't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, but I believe that the actual weekend of Black Friday was around £1,200 in sales and cash from that sale specifically. And then after though is where the real magic happened, because afterwards I'd planned very intentionally. I wanted one-to-one coaching with me, so my 6-month signature package, to be the upsell specifically from that, because I know it's a really great fit for people. If people are wanting help around their sales, they could probably do with the one-to-one coaching after that. So I gave everyone inside that a really irresistible offer essentially for one-to-one coaching. And over 30% of those people from that course converted into one-to-one coaching in the next few months. So that led to almost £20,000 in upsells specifically. So that is kind of crazy, right? When we look at it from that perspective of actually realizing that yes, the Black Friday weekend itself was really great. The 1,200, amazing. But almost 20,000 in upsells was absolutely huge for my business and really set me up for the next quarter as well, financially. So I think it's really powerful as well to think, firstly, what do you want to sell as an upsell? What could be a really good upsell? This is again where, coming back to that first tip, having a really strategically planned out Black Friday is so powerful, because you can actually think, okay, intentionally, what am I aiming towards right now? What is my bigger goal with my business past this single sale, which I'm doing? Do I want to get people into this group program? Do I want them in this mastermind? Do I want them in this one-to-one program? And actually planning out that upsell of, okay, here's what I'm going to pitch to these people after this offer, after this Black Friday, is so, so powerful. And you can get some incredible people inside your program from this, because the Black Friday then is essentially a bit of a lead generation tool. It's a bit of a try before you buy for people. It gives them a chance to see, do they actually like your style? Do they like how you do things? Do they like how you teach? Do they get results, from this? And then actually from there, have more confidence jumping into your higher ticket offer. So I personally very much view Black Friday as more lead generation than sales. I'm not looking to make a whole ton of cash in my business through that weekend. I'm looking to get some people who would be really amazing clients for other programs and get them in the door, essentially, get them to try out something, get them to buy something that they wouldn't have otherwise purchased. And this makes it then such a perfect opportunity for anyone who has been thinking about working with you, because there's at least someone always pretty much in your audience, I would say, who's been thinking about working with you, hasn't yet made the leap, but has been considering it and thinks it could be a good fit. This is the perfect opportunity, and really seeing the sale as this being the perfect opportunity for them to jump in and just see what it's like. Essentially, it's a very low risk, it's a very low investment them jumping in through Black Friday. So actually it gives them an opportunity to just kind of try it out and see, do they like working with you? Do they like what this could be? And then do they want to jump into your higher ticket? So actually having that upsell planned out ahead of time of what would be the perfect next offer for them is really powerful, because often they are very much ready to jump into something else, because again, these are the people who have been thinking about working with you already. They've already been thinking about, or seen at least, your higher ticket offer if they're jumping into your lower ticket offer. So actually then having that perfect upsell can be so powerful. So those are the 5 biggest tips that I would give you for Black Friday. But before you go, I wanted to share something else. So a few years ago, I did a Black Friday workshop, essentially, where I planned out with some clients their Black Fridays. And I literally walked them through the full planning process of how do I map out a Black Friday, and walk through an exact case study of my very first Black Friday, going into stupid level of detail, as in showing you what I posted on Instagram stories, the emails I wrote, showing you the exact timeline of how I did things and how I did those upsells as well. So I recorded that for everyone when they attended live several years ago, and I put together the recording for you. So it's inside a little bundle. So I will put the link in the description for that. So if you want to jump into that, that is perfect for you to grab this time of year to actually plan out your Black Friday and really map out how you're going to be selling everything in a really strategic and intentional way. Also mapping out those upsells again, which is so, so powerful, and literally seeing a crazily detailed case study of how I did my Black Friday as well. So if you're doing Black Friday at all, this is worth the investment. So jump in to the link in the description and check that out now. And again, don't forget, I'm going to be doing several more Black Friday videos through the month of November. So make sure you're subscribed so you do not miss those. Make sure you give this video a like as well if you found it helpful. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.